like the research suggests that 95% of women are nutritionally depleted despite taking a prenatal vitamin. So I think front and center, it was like, okay, food alone isn't cutting it. And there's a whole host of reasons as to why that is. But the sad part was prenatal vitamins as designed weren't getting anywhere close to making up the difference. And that was scary because pregnancy is such a vulnerable time in a woman and a baby's life, and really where you can change the trajectory of outcomes to come, not just birth outcomes, but really like a mom and a baby's trajectory for the rest of their life. So I think it was just upsetting and something for, wanting to become moms ourselves. We just couldn't get away from it. So we basically spent all of business school learning as much as we could about perinatal nutrition and beginning to meet practitioners like yourselves, like understanding how they were working sort of differently in a more nutritionally informed way with their patients and the roadblocks that they were running into. And I think we heard again and again from these more nutritionally informed practitioners, like, prenatal vitamins aren't cutting it. We're offering these other kind of protocols, but they're 12 supplements from 6 different brands, and it's super clunky, and there's a lot of checking of making sure you're not overdosing on certain things. Because the prenatal multivitamin has folate, but so does the egg quality support, and that is going to be way too much folate and can lead to serotonin issues for a mom, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we got a lot of validation of there is a huge gap in the market. And if you guys look to redesign from the ground up a more kind of supportive prenatal vitamin and other products that could work well with it to really support women at this life stage, like there is a massive need there, and you have the potential to change outcomes. So that was really the driving force for us.
Yeah, I love that. And I think like when you open up the Needed website and you see 95% of women are nutrient deficient and depleted, and thinking back, listening to your story and your journey and thinking back to me, the practitioner, not even just me, the mother, but all the women I've worked with over the years to help them get pregnant and then following them through their postpartum journey, I can definitely see in symptoms and how they're feeling and their mood, where that depletion that just gets even worse through pregnancy. And now, maybe food is changing in terms of decision-making postpartum because they're tired, because they're busy, and they need the nutrient requirements get even higher at that point, how challenging that can be. And I think we hear so often, and I hear from my clients, from their family doctors, just go grab any old prenatal from the drugstore and start trying and you'll be good to go. And now we're learning more and more how that's just not actually the case, which I love that you guys have run this study and dug into the research. And I think that stat can be very shocking for women, but why are we seeing that? Why is the deficiency so striking with women?
So, I think there's a number of reasons, but I think one of the step back points that makes me sad, and in some ways why this depletion persists, is that I think society sort of just expects women to be tired. Pregnancy is going to be hard. You're going to be exhausted as a mom. And so I think there is this just cloud around it that women don't even know that they had an unmet need. And I know for myself, when I realized the deficiencies and then I was able to be very specific in how do I correct them, I felt dramatically different. But I wouldn't told you in the pre-me version that I didn't feel, I felt fine because that was just the normal that I knew and expected. So I do think there is a conditioning factor that supports the stagnation and the lack of improvement on this problem, because people aren't sort of advocating for things that could be better because they didn't even know there could be a better way.